There is some drama brewing within NASA right now, and Elon Musk is not staying silent about it. That's right, the interim secretary of NASA right now, Sean Duffy, is stirring up quite some controversy, saying, SpaceX, you're great, but you're late with HLS, and maybe we should reopen that contract, that was awarded to you in 2021. This has got everyone talking on X, so let's get into it.
The president wants to make sure we beat the Chinese. He wants to get there in his term, so I'm in the process of opening that contract up.
Not only that, but Secretary Duffy is also pushing for NASA to fold into the Department of Transportation, a move that has a lot of people conflicted and concerned. Also, Elon generated a lot of controversy, posting this comment underneath Secretary Duffy's announcement.
Bring in the studio this morning one of the gay rights activists, Mr. Should I call you Mr? Pepe Julian Onzima. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
Elon also goes on to say, no, China is not going to beat us. They're not going to be first. SpaceX is moving at lightning speed compared to the rest of the industry. He says, moreover, mark my words, Starship will do the entire moon mission. It's hard to believe, but NASA still doesn't have an official administrator, and it's been a pretty tumultuous 2025. And things are heating up as there's a power struggle ensuing over who will lead NASA. So let's wind it back a little bit. So back in January, Bill Nelson's term as NASA administrator ended. And this is a fairly regular thing. We thought that Jared would be on by maybe May or June. So during that time, Janet Petros served as the acting administrator. But if you guys remember, Jared Isaacman, who was nominated by President Trump for the administrator in December of 2024, ended up not being chosen by President Trump at what seemed like the very last minute back in May. So then in July of this year, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy was designated as the acting or interim administrator. But I was hearing some rumors last week that Jared Isaacman might still be in the running to become NASA administrator, but I decided to finally make a video about this because of everything that's going down on X, with Elon really not happy about Sean Duffy saying that basically SpaceX is moving slow with HLS, and maybe they need to reopen that contract that SpaceX won back in April of 2021.
The importance of landing humans back on the moon is we're going back in a way that is totally different. We've had almost 60 years of experience, and we're taking every single ounce of experience we have and taking that with our international partners, with our commercial partners.
We've been working for the last year with 3 partners who will help us achieve the next human mission to the moon, because we know that this first step to the moon will then lead us to go to Mars. And we know that the human landing system is one of the first steps to get us there. And so we've been working with Dynetics, Alido's company. We've been working with Blue Origin, who have partners of Draper, Lockheed Martin, and Northrop Grumman. In addition, we've also been working with SpaceX.
This is a very, very exciting time for the Human Landing System program. They've spent a lot of blood, sweat, and tears over this last couple years getting ready for this moment.
We're really excited to bring you the announcement of who NASA is going to continue to finish out the human landing system and take humans back to the moon. NASA has chosen SpaceX to return us to the moon. I am so excited to partner with SpaceX in this fantastic endeavor for the Artemis suite of missions. So congratulations to the SpaceX team.
So things really kicked off this week when NASA's acting administrator Sean Duffy made some television appearances, and this is what he had to say.
The president wants to make sure we beat the Chinese. He wants to get there in his term, so I'm in the process of opening that contract up. I think we'll see companies like Blue get involved and maybe others. We're going to have a space race in regard to American companies competing to see who can actually get us back to the moon first. But I feel pretty confident with this competition. We're going to beat the Chinese and do it in President Trump's term, so before 2029.
And so Sean Duffy wrote on X, "We are in a race against China, so we need the best companies to operate at a speed that gets us to the moon first. SpaceX has the contract to build the HLS, which will get U.S. astronauts there on Artemis 3, but competition and innovation are the keys to our dominance in space, so NASA is opening up HLS production to Blue Origin and other great American companies." So veteran space reporter Eric Berger says that in here, Duffy also indirectly acknowledged that NASA's projected target of a 2027 crewed lunar landing is no longer achievable, which is a pretty big deal. And it doesn't sound like the way he worded it that this is a maybe. Sean Duffy says he's in the process of opening that contract up. Now, as Eric Berger points out, Sean Duffy is correct in saying that SpaceX still has several milestones to meet before they're able to actually have HLS do what it needs to do with that moon mission. For example, one of the technical hurdles that we still have yet to see is refueling the vehicles in low Earth orbit, something that's never been done before on a large scale. So who would be the players getting involved if NASA does open this back up and more than SpaceX companies are involved? Well, Blue Origin already has a contract with NASA for a ready-to-go lunar lander that will be developed in the 2030s. But Eric Berger thinks that what Sean Duffy is referring to is a plan developed by Blue Origin that uses multiple Mk1 landers, a smaller vehicle originally designed for cargo only. And this plan would apparently not require in-space refueling, and the Mk1 vehicle is nearing its debut flight early next year. Now, of course, others might be able to get involved as well. For example, according to this article from Eric Berger on Ars Technica, in a statement to Ars, a Lockheed Martin official confirmed the company was ready if NASA called upon them. But like I mentioned, Elon Musk, who runs SpaceX, is not having any of this. He even went as far to say that Starship would end up doing the whole moon mission. He's now referencing Sean Duffy as Sean Dummy, saying Sean Dummy is trying to kill NASA. And here he says again, Sean Dummy. He even wrote this poll saying, should someone whose biggest claim to fame is climbing trees be running America's space program? Which I would say I feel like Sean Duffy is actually far more known as a reality TV star than his tree climbing, but regardless. And so not only may this contract be opened back up, but as I mentioned earlier, Eric Berger reported the Wall Street Journal confirms what he's heard about Sean Duffy pushing for NASA to fold into the Department of Transportation. And he's currently meeting with senators on this idea. For him, it would be a win-win. He gets to take credit for NASA's success, but doesn't have to run the agency. Which people are saying in the comments, doesn't this basically mean the end of NASA? Eric says it means the end of its independence. And a lot of people are saying, oh, hell no. Eric also wrote, based on a lot of reporting over the last 2 days, one thing seems clear. Jared Isaacman was on a good path to being renominated to lead NASA. Sean Duffy and his chief of staff, Pete Meacham, have increased their lobbying to stop that. Trump will decide what happens next. Sawyer Merritt even chimed in saying, lobbying against Jared Isaacman, literally the most qualified and best person to be the new head of NASA, is so dumb. You can't hate politics enough. Jared as NASA head would be great for America. So what do you guys think about this plan? Or do you think that even if another company gets involved, if they will be able to beat SpaceX? I'm skeptical of it. And I think that we could actually see what Elon said come true, which is that, mark his words, SpaceX will do it all on their own. But I guess time will tell. But I wanted to share all of this hot gossip with you guys.